high-profile 1MDB trial will be postponed to next Monday. Zakir Naik should only focus on religious issues. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Welcome to News on 2. Now, the much-awaited high-profile trial of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, who is facing 4 charges of having used his position to obtain gratification totaling 2.3 billion ringgit in 1MDB funds and 21 counts of money laundering involving the same money, has been postponed to next Monday. High Court Judge Colin Lawrence Sakira adjourned Datuk Seri Najib's 1MDB trial, which was scheduled to begin today, after allowing the application by former Federal Court Judge Datuk Seri Gopal Sriram, who was appointed as Senior Deputy Public Prosecutor, to postpone the trial, as the prosecution had just served 15 bundles of documents and witness statements to the defence. Datuk Seri Gopal said it was also to give way to SRC International's Sdn Bhd trial to be completed first. The prosecution in SRC's trial has almost wrapped up its case, with the last prosecution witness yet to conclude his testimony before High Court Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali. Previously, Justice Sakira has set 19th to 29th August, the month of September and October, except for Fridays, and the first 2 weeks of November for Datuk Seri Najib's 1MDB trial. The prosecution had applied for the trial to be postponed for the 4th time to make way for Datuk Seri Najib's SRC trial. On 18 July, Justice Sakira dismissed the public prosecutor's notice of motion to adjourn the trial. On 8 July, Justice Sakira rejected Attorney General Tommy Thomas' verbal request to postpone the 1MDB case scheduled for 19th August until the SRC case had been completed. Datuk Seri Najib, who was represented by a team of lawyers led by Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah, pleaded not guilty to all 25 charges, and later the case was transferred to the High Court. He faces an imprisonment of up to 20 years and a fine of up to 5 times the sum or value of the gratification, or 10,000 ringgit, whichever is higher, upon conviction. All the charges were made according to Section 4, Subsection 1A of the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act, which carries a maximum fine of 5 million ringgit and jail term of 5 years, or both if convicted. A row of 5 shophouses in Jalan Sultan Muhammad near Sekolah Jenis Kebangsaan Cina Chung Hua Wei Sin were destroyed in a fire last night, with losses estimated at about 1.2 million ringgit. Terengganu Fire and Rescue Director Muhammad Shoki Hamzah said the department received a call at about 10:33 p.m. and 35 firefighters from Kuala Terengganu, Jalan Kota and Marang stations with 4 fire engines and 2 water tankers were dispatched to the location. According to Muhammad Shoki, 3 of the 5 shophouse lots were lighting and electrical appliance shops, while the other 2 lots were a motorcycle spare parts shop. Speaking to reporters at the scene, he said when firemen arrived, the row of shophouses were already 70% raised, and the fire is believed to have started from the back, as it was not spotted earlier. Thus, he said the department received the call from the public late. Muhammad Shoki said during the operation, firemen faced difficulties in assessing the premises as they were packed with goods. Moreover, a number of combustible material was found in the shop, such as engine oil and others, which aided the blaze. He said the flames were brought under control from spreading to other shops at about 11 p.m. and the cause of the fire is still being investigated. A married couple and their baby boy were killed after they were found in a raised house in Kampung Alah Batu, Jalan Kuala Slim in Slim River early this morning. A Perak Fire and Rescue Department spokesman said they received a call on the incident at 3:51 a.m. In a statement today, the spokesman said a team from the Slim River station with assistance from Tanjung Malim and Kuala Kubu Baru was quickly dispatched to the scene. He said the couple in their 30s and a baby almost 1-year-old were in the first room of the house, measuring 20 by 60 feet, suffered about 70% burns. In addition, the statement said all victims were confirmed dead at the location. He said the victims' remains were then sent to Slim River Hospital for further action. An elderly man suffered multiple injuries on various parts of his body when he was believed to have been struck by a wall which collapsed following an explosion at his apartment unit in Desa Green apartment, Jalan Paya Trubong in Georgetown, Pulau Pinang yesterday. According to a fire and rescue department spokesman, the 62-year-old man was at home with his son, daughter-in-law and grandson during the explosion, which occurred at 8:16 a.m. According to the spokesman, when firefighters arrived at the scene, part of a room wall had collapsed, and the impact of the explosion also caused the wall of the next-door house to crack. Meanwhile, Timor Laut Police Chief ACP Che Zaimani Che Awang said the explosion was believed to have been caused by leaking gas. He said the powerful explosion occurred when the elderly man wanted to light his cigarette in the living room, which was filled with gas leaking from the hose of a gas cylinder. Moreover, ACP Che Zaimani said the man, who also suffered burn injuries, was in stable condition at the Pulau Pinang hospital. He said the victim's son, daughter-in-law and grandson, who were sleeping in their bedroom when the blast occurred, escaped unhurt. Malaysians should be careful when speaking on sensitive matters which relates to the various religions in the country. Touching on this, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, when commenting on controversial Muslim preacher Dr. Zakir Naik, said Dr. Zakir is free to preach and talk about Islam, but not on racial politics that can stir up and harm the Malaysian well-being. The Premier said such action is not good for the country and appropriate legal action would be taken should such actions continue.
We are very careful about how we say things that are sensitive to the different communities in this country. I have never said that kind of thing. I have never asked the Chinese to go back, but he comes here and tells somebody, tell the Chinese to go back. If you want to send me out, then you must send it. That is politics. If he wants to talk about religion, well, go ahead and talk about the right things about religion.
Touching on another matter, Tun Dr. Mahathir said that the government will stand firm on Linehurst's license renewal issue. He said that the renewal was made according to the views of the experts and scientists who understand about the danger of radioactive waste. The Premier said that the government cannot always listen to popular views, especially when it involved a small group of people making use of alternative media to promote their ideas to the extent of giving the hammering to anyone who goes against them.
No, I want to stick by what is reported by the experts. If this is a very dangerous material, then we will, of course, stop it. But the report says that it's not dangerous. We can, if the waste is put in just one place, maybe there is a big concentration, we are prepared to disperse it, but we cannot export because nobody wants to accept it. We cannot throw it into the sea because the fish will die if it is true. So we want to go according to expert view.
The Premier said this after officiating the 62nd International Statistical Institute World Statistics Congress, WSC, at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre in Kuala Lumpur yesterday. Meanwhile, speaking to the Congress, Tun Dr. Mahathir said Malaysia is committed in its effort to achieve 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SGD 2030, which is aimed at ending poverty and hunger, promoting good education, health and well-being, achieving clean water and sanitation, as well as affordable and clean energy, and reaching gender equality. Speaking further, the Premier hopes that the 62nd International Institute of Statistics World Statistics Congress, ISIWSC 2019, will be a platform that can shape a larger spectrum to prove to the public the importance of statistics. To date, SDG's progress in Malaysia can be seen in the areas of governance and implementation of roadmap, data evaluation and data achievement.
All these challenges underscore data and statistics as the field that drive decision-making. It enables the use of a scientific approach to investigate all the available evidence in formulating effective and target-specific policies and programs. Statistics provide evidence which are necessary to improve decision making, document results, and also enhance public accountability. Consequently, this will benefit the well-being of the nation and the economic growth of the country.
The Congress this year gathered around 2,500 representatives from 130 countries, which comprises statistical researchers, academics, industry practitioners, analysts, and policymakers. Through the presentation of over 500 papers and over 5 days of discussion, participants will be able to share information and insights on development in statistical science for the purpose of discovering new things, innovating, and making decisions. Coming up next, Typhoon Lakima caused 60.2 million ringgit agro losses. Stay with us. Welcome back. The country's agro-food industry has recorded 60.2 million ringgit in losses due to Typhoon Lakima that created havoc in the northern region states of Perlis, Kedah, Pulau Pinang and Perak on 9th August. Deputy Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Minister Sim Z Zin said fish farming sector recorded most losses at 29 million ringgit due to damage to fish cages and dead fish.
Jumlah keseluruhan kerugian yang dialami bagi negeri Pulau Pinang adalah seramai 152 orang pengusaha, lebih daripada 800 metrik tan ikan mati dengan nilai anggaran sebanyak 29 juta ringgit Malaysia. Ini anggaran yang sangat konservatif.
Sungai Udang was among the worst affected area by Typhoon Lakima, and 141 fish farm operators suffered serious damage to infrastructure and equipment, with more than 700 tons of fish either dead or escaped from the cages. Apart from Sungai Udang, fish farms in Teluk Bahang and Pantai Jerejak were also affected. Meanwhile, Sim said his ministry will take several immediate steps to help affected fishermen so they could rebuild fish cages to meet the demand for fishery resources. He said the ministry will also meet with the Agro-Bank in the near future to discuss financial assistance for the fish farm operators. Sim said a detailed report on the damage suffered by the farmers, livestock breeders and fishermen as a result of Typhoon Lakima was also being prepared to ensure that necessary forms of assistance were provided to them. Now, many oil palm smallholders nationwide have yet to apply for the Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil or MSPO certification, as many are still unaware of its benefits. Primary Industries Minister Teresa Kok said as of July this year, only 47% of 5.8 million hectares of private planted areas in the country had obtained the certification. Teresa said each time the ministry's officials conduct visits to 15 places around the country, the importance of being certified continues to be raised. She, however, acknowledged that the application process for the certification was slow due to the shortage of staff at the Malaysian Palm Oil Board, MPOB, and the Malaysian Palm Oil Certification Council.
Ya, itu sebab yang prosesnya agak perlahan. Tapi saya mahu mempercepatkan keseluruhan proses pensijinan MSPO ini. Kerana kalau tak capai 100% pada akhir tahun ini, kalau kita boleh capai 70% ataupun 80% dan pada tahun depan kita teruskan lagi, ini memang akan kita biarkan boleh beri gambaran yang baiklah kepada masyarakat antarabangsa.
The effort, she said, is part of the ministry's move to convince international palm oil consumers, especially among Europeans, and at the same time expanding the penetration of oil palm marketing overseas. Teresa said this after the MSPO briefing session with the Terengganu oil palm growers in Kuala Berang, Hulu Terengganu, in Terengganu yesterday. According to her, some 54% or 91,498 hectares of 168,194 hectares of oil palm plantation in Terengganu had obtained the certification so far. The federal government will not neglect in providing any form of aid to states under the opposition parties. Political Secretary to Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Aziz Ahmad Ismail, Datuk Romli Ishak, said aid will be distributed equally to the states, similar to Pakatan Harapan-led states. According to Datuk Romli, the aid includes neglected public amenities and infrastructure, which needs attention.
Kita tidak nak mengamalkan apa yang dah diamalkan oleh Barisan Nasional dulu. Kan Barisan Nasional dulu, kalau negeri berbangkang, dia tubuh JPP. Semua saluran diberi pada JPP. So kerajaan negeri tak dapat apa-apa. Kan. Tapi kita sekarang sebab di bawah Pakatan Harapan, kita masih lagi menyalurkan, seumpamanya saya bagi contoh yang baru berlaku minggu lepas, iaitu bantuan untuk bencana alam akibat ribut itu leukemia. Itu bantuan terus diberikan, disalurkan kepada kerajaan negeri.
Datuk Romli said this to the media after the special briefing held at Bukit Besar, Kuala Terengganu. According to him, party leaders of the states are the eyes and ears of the Pakatan Harapan-led government in the opposition-led states. In addition, he said the opposition also plays a role in extending the matter to central level. The Johor government, through the Darul Ta'zim Family Development Foundation, had set up a legal bureau helpline to help women in need of counselling. State Tourism, Women, Family and Community Development Committee Chairman Liao Chai Tung said the initiative, which is free, targets low-income women, single mothers, people with disabilities and senior citizens. Liao said that the initiative will become a contact centre for appropriate departments.
Mereka boleh menelefon hotline ini 1300-807000. So dengan ini melalui hotline Biro Guaman ini, mereka dapat kita akan explain menerangkan lebih lanjut apa yang kita boleh beri khidmat kepada mereka, atau kita adalah bekerjasama dengan Biro Guaman yang ada, dan kebanyakan kita beri counselling kepada mereka.
Liao was met after officiating the YPKDT target tracking program and the roadshow friendly activities, recreation and informative Mari 2019 in Johor Bahru. The helpline will operate daily from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It also serves to help those in need of counselling and information, especially couples who are on the verge of divorce. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah on Sunday urged all Malaysians, no matter where they are, to continue upholding the country's good image and reputation by practicing good work ethics and respecting the local laws and cultures. At the same time, His Majesty said Malaysians should always show unwavering loyalty towards the country.
Dalam konteks ini, saya ingin menzahirkan rasa penghargaan dan terima kasih pada Kerajaan Yang Maha Mulia Paduka Seri Baginda Sultan dan Yang di-Pertuan Negara Brunei Darussalam yang telah memberi peluang kepada rakyat dan syarikat Malaysia untuk menyumbang kepada kemajuan ekonomi negara Brunei Darussalam.
The King said this at a dinner with some 200 Malaysians residing in Brunei yesterday. Tunku Hajah Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria was also in attendance. The dinner with the Malaysian diaspora was part of the programs for Sultan Abdullah's 3-day state visit to Brunei starting yesterday. It is the first state visit by Sultan Abdullah after being officially installed as the 16th Yang di-Pertuan Agong on 30th July. Coming up in sports, Selangor failed to reap full points in Shah Alam. 33-time Malaysia Cup champion Selangor failed to take advantage of home ground when they drew 1-1 against the Royal Malaysia Police, PDRM, at the third action of Group D at the Shah Alam Stadium last night. Now, the result saw the Red Giant squad currently collecting 5 points in second spot and separated by only 1 point with leader Melaka, which sank Felda United 3-1 in a group match on Saturday. The Group D competition to hunt 2 slots to the quarter-final stage was still open, with 1 point successfully stolen by PDRM to enable the squad under E. Elevarasan to collect 4 points to continue to pressure Melaka and Selangor. At the action, witnessed by 2,110 spectators, PDRM player Agrim Radzovic denied the host a win after the defender headed in the equaliser in the 59th minute, 7 minutes after Selangor exploded an opening goal through Sandro da Silva. Jarred by the goal, Satyanathan brought in two strikers, Amri Yahya and Sean Eugenie Selvaraj, in the effort to hunt the winning goal. But the PDRM defenders managed to thwart a Selangor win on its own turf. Meanwhile, PJ City FC had a different experience after the squad under K. Dewan managed to defend a goal to collect 3 points by beating UITM FC 1-0 in a Group B competition at the Petaling Jaya Municipal Council Stadium. Import striker from Timor-Leste, Pedro Enrique Cortes Oliveira Gios, emerged as team warrior with the sole goal of the match in the 29th minute. Plenty of action in the second half, but both sides remained resilient in the defence of their goalposts. The 1-0 scoreline remained until the final whistle was blown. PJ City FC currently had 6 points in second position to simultaneously following closely 2019 Super League champions Johor Darul Ta'zim JDT as leader in Group B with 7 points. UITM FC meanwhile remained in relegation zone. And that concludes this afternoon's News on 2. In our top story today, high-profile 1MDB trial postponed to next Monday. Join us again at 7 this evening. I'm Mohana Priya. Thanks for watching.